Welcome to Sharper Square, presented by Hard Rock Bet. We are part of the Volume Podcast Network. This is the betting show that makes the squares sharper, makes the wise guys pay attention. I am Chad Millman. I am joined by my BFF, my companion, my compadre, professional bettor, Simon Hunter. Hello, Simon.
Chad, how we doing?
Listen, this is like our official Halloween episode, and for those who don't know, Matt Mitchell is a fiend for Halloween and all themed episodes. So I would expect it to be very spooky today. Spookier than the lines themselves.
Yama hama, it's Fright Night.
Simon, I know you like to go out and celebrate Halloween. It's what all single dudes in their 30s love to do.
Yeah, I mean, definitely back in the day, all about it. You could just go out and enjoy the festivities. Now, I literally do the old man move. I got a buddy who lives in town next to me. It's a well-known town in South Jersey. A lot of people know. It's called Haddonfield, and they really do it up. These really old Victorian homes they do up for Halloween. Like, literally make them like haunted houses, and like a whole street gets blocked off. And it's a middle-aged shit show. It's a really good time. You basically just go there, walk from house to house, black out, maybe take some psychedelics, who knows, and it's a really good time. Again, because everyone's in a mask, you don't know if you're talking to a 50-year-old or a 20-year-old. It's a really funny time. So, yeah, definitely going to be a fun night Friday.
Yeah, I said to my wife this morning, so, tomorrow's Halloween. How do we get the fuck out of here? And go somewhere so we can avoid it all. She goes, what do you mean? There's so many kids who are going to come by. We can't disappoint them. I'm like, we don't even have kids at home. She goes, I know, but all the kids in their costume, they're so cute. We got to be here at least for a little while. I lost that battle.
Yeah, my favorite thing, which you can do if you want to have fun, is I saw there's a guy every year he gives out potatoes. So
I saw this on TikTok.
Potatoes.
Yeah,
I was
what's that
loving
about?
this guy because kids come by and they're like, I still have my potato from last year. I saved it this whole year. And now I have another one. I don't know. I think he's just being funny and the kids are into it. So I just made me think, I don't give out candy. I just put a bucket out. And
Yeah, we'll put out the bucket and, hopefully people are kind and they don't take all the candy at once. That's what we hope for. This is our Thursday week 9 episode. We're going to narrow down the options on our quest to find 5 picks that we both agree on. I don't know. I feel like we're far apart on a bunch of games, so it's going to be tricky to find those 5. In case you missed it, Matt Mitchell, as I mentioned, our longtime producer, has returned. Feedback is a gift. If you have any comments about this show, just send them all to Matt Mitchell. Another reminder, subscribe to Sharper Square on YouTube, Apple Pods, Spotify. All right, let's get into this thing. Every week, we give out our picks on Tuesday, and every week, your professional betting colleagues, Simon, have strong opinions about what we discuss on the show, and they like to share them with you, and then we share them with everybody else here on Thursdays in our favorite segment. It's time for Sharp Calls.
I have to answer this phone.
Chad, it's strange days this year, this season.
Is it strange days because the wise guys agree with me on just about every single game?
No, you're going to get slaughtered this week. But you might not. That's the strange days because the public, they've been cashing on these weeks. Even going back to last year. They have weeks like this where it feels like they're stepping in it and they get away with it. And maybe it's the new age, but the favorites, like you've seen all the data, Chad, it's like the best run they've ever had to start a season right now. And these last 2 weeks, it's been insane. What was 11-2, like you said last week? Normally, I would be hammering this, dancing on your grave, laughing at you because you were so Joe Public, but you might be right. And I think a lot of the guys back up some of that. If you want to go through the plays that I disagree with them on, a lot of pros like Atlanta. I think that's a sharp side. A lot of pros like Pittsburgh, probably a sharp side. Again, I'm just on the opposite side of it. Plenty of pros like the Vikings. I don't get it. Feels like they're kind of just betting a number into I just don't trust JJ. I don't get that one either. Tons of pros I talked to like Tennessee on the other side of that one. The ones they agree with me on, shockingly, a lot of pros love the Chiefs. I really thought that was going to be pros on the Bills and the public would be on the Chiefs, but plenty of guys I know back in the Chiefs here. There are Bills betters, a lot of pros on the Bills, but it's not all. I thought it was going to be, Joe's versus pros, and it's split on that game. I mean, a game I love, Chad, just not going to get there. I guess I don't love it. I don't want to say I love it because it's Geno Smith, but the Raiders, like that's tons of pros I know hammered that at plus 3.5. I'm mad I didn't do anything with it because I just was like, can I just avoid this game? I don't want to have money on Geno Smith or Trevor Lawrence. It's down to minus 2.5 now. I might have to bet Trevor Lawrence. I don't want to though because that game stinks to high heavens. Tons of pros on Houston with us. I don't know how much you like that game, but another game I thought was going to be very, very public heavy on the Broncos. It's actually not like that, right? It's been pretty split. Most bookmakers I've talked to, they don't desperately need Houston there. I thought that was going to be a big professional spot, but this week it just seems like the pros I know, they're taking these home dogs like the Giants, and I try to ask them why, and they're just playing the number. Like they really give me logical reasons on it other than this is what they do long term and it's a winner. And I told you I'm just scared about it because this has not been hitting like it used to these last couple of years, and we've talked about it. The discrepancy between having a quarterback you can trust on fourth down on these short fields with these kickoff rules, it's different, and these favorites are just hitting differently. So, yeah, we can dive into it, but really, really split up this week overall over a lot of the games. But for the most part, most pros I know too, they're just all over these home dogs, and they just love the numbers they're getting on these home dogs.
Yeah, I think that's a mistake. Let's get into it. Atlanta at New England, you mentioned it. Like the two players we were most concerned about not being available were Michael Penix and Drake London. And I think that's part of why this number shot up. Don't forget on Sunday, this line was 3.5. Shot up to 5.5, actually got up to 6 at some point on Wednesday. But there is news out of Atlanta. Raheem Morris did say he was feeling really good about Michael Penix. It looks like Drake London also is on the road to playing. And if those two guys are playing, then it's a different conversation. And all of a sudden, we're talking about a New England team that is, to me, highly overvalued because Drake May is just dropping bombs. And now all of a sudden, everyone thinks he's sort of the second coming of Tom Brady and is racing up the charts in the MVP race. But Atlanta offensively is very well-rounded when it has all of its players available. The Patriots have had a hard time stopping the run. Bijan Robinson can be a dominant presence. You kind of need to take last week off the board as such a massive anomaly, burn the tape. Atlanta at 5.5, I totally get why the wise guys like that play. Explain to me your logic here. If by the way, the expectation holds true and Penix and London are playing.
Yeah, I think everything you said is true. That we've been saying it for weeks, though. This Patriots team is overvalued. Drake May, I think one of their quarterback has done what he's done in history. I think it was Drew Brees or something like that. That's basically completing 75% of their passes through 8 weeks and have over 2,000 yards. And, the difference between obviously him and Drew Brees is Drake May is a great athlete. He's got incredible legs that when it's not working for him throwing the ball, he uses that, gets first downs. And he's been a unicorn in that way for this Patriots team, right? Like he keeps them in drives that they really shouldn't be in because he uses his legs and then all the 50-50 balls. I just said he's completed 75% of his passes. Yeah. These aren't checkdowns like Drew Brees was in that 2018. This is guys throwing 30, 40 yards downfield, and it's working. It's all hitting. So everything you're saying about the regression is so true. I just don't know if this is the spot to get in front of it because it is Penix and it is outdoor. Like, again, he's played 2 outdoor games this year. Penix as a starter with guys healthy. Carolina, 0-30. They didn't score a single point against Carolina. Okay, not a big deal. Then they went to San
Well,
Francisco.
it is a big deal.
I know, but I'm saying like it's a fluke game, right? Those things happen. Like you can't take much away from it. That's why I try to not hold too much against him in that game. He went to San Francisco, looked anemic, scored 10 points against a defense with no Nick Bosa, no pass rush, and no Fred Warner in their first game. Like made the 49ers defense look like a juggernaut without 2 all-pros. So, 10 points on the road there. I'm worried about Penix. I just don't trust him yet. Rather I'd be at home indoors as a favorite. I like him. On the road as a dog, I don't know if I can get there, but everything Chad's saying is so true. This is an incredible spot for the Falcons trend-wise. Like there's a ton of trends. Patriots are basically on this insane 5-game ATS streak. You want to fade those type of teams, especially young teams that didn't make the playoffs the previous year. They tend to struggle in this exact spot. So I get why you're doing it. I haven't bet the Falcons. I'm scared off of it. I'm probably just going to end up with the Patriots on a money line around Robin, even though you're so right. Like it's a spot they should lose, but I think between the Vrabel playing this young quarterback on the road and the way Drake May's been playing, I don't know. I can't get there on this Falcons, even though you're right. It's an inflated number.
Well, look, this is always a challenge, and I think we have a similar challenge with the Colts and the Steelers. When are you fading the team that is riding so high? When do you get off that roller coaster? Because it's going to start to go down again. It doesn't just keep going up. Trying to time that is the hardest part of some of this. So we're putting a pin in Atlanta, New England. We'll end up talking about it on Sunday because we might have a hard time finding 5, and this is going to be one where I think we're going to.
I have 5 I love. You just don't like them. Well, honestly,
that's the point of the game, my friend. Yeah. We got to find 5 that we both love. Chargers -8.5 at Tennessee. Interesting game. We talked about loving the Chargers on Tuesday. That's when it was at 9.5. Now it's moved even more. You mentioned off the top sharp calls, the wise guys loving Tennessee. I don't know what anyone's seeing with Tennessee. Jeffrey Simmons did not practice on Wednesday. This team has a very hard time looking like a professional football team. I bet the Chargers at 8.5. I'm having a hard time figuring out what the value is on the Titans, other than their 8.5 point home dog, because the Chargers, they should crush in this game if they play like the Chargers can play.
Yeah, and a lot of it, I think it's just what we talk about every week, like certain pros and certain groups. They're just playing the laws of averages. Like Chad's talking about here, these teams can't keep winning forever. Titans can't keep losing forever, can they? I think they can. Like you just talked about it. You're missing key guys here. I can't state that enough. And it's a unique spot too with this Chargers team coming off kind of a mini bye, right? I mean,
yeah,
it's bizarre world. Justin Herbert, who couldn't stand being in front of the camera, is now, it feels like at every sporting event with his super hot girlfriend. And it's like, I love it. Like finally Herbert's being a QB1, what's been lacking with this guy forever is just that embracing it. Like, and the moxie of it now, I think to the season he's having, people are loving Herbert, right? He's in the top, 5? We talked about the MVP betting right now. He's just way up there, and it's the stats, right? The 2,000 yards. He's like got a ton of passing yards. And when I really dove into this one, I kind of really thought to myself, what are me and Chad backing here with Harbaugh on the road? Like, are there numbers here to back up us taking him as a big favorite here? Because I want to see why the pros are fading Harbaugh here. Because to me, this is like an auto play. Harbaugh, big favorite against a team that can't stop the run, love their best run defender. What is there to fear? And even the numbers back it up, Chad. Like Harbaugh, he's close to the favorite 11 times with the Chargers. He's 7-4 against the spread in those games. If we're going just him as a road favorite, Harbaugh, since he's been with the Chargers, they're 10-2 against the spread as a road favorite against the spread. That's crazy. Like I can't get over that. Now let's factor in extended rest. That's a big deal for this Chargers team. They are a perfect 5-0 against the spread in the spot with Harbaugh going from West Coast to East Coast. Now we're adding in Tennessee is the worst team historically covering. It's under 10. I can't avoid it. We and Chad are on two huge chalk favorites, one in the Lions, one in the Chargers. I shockingly love them both.
Yeah, I'm not. This is where, the changes in the NFL the past few years have really wreaked havoc with how people look at these games and think about underdogs at home and big numbers. And if you're not adjusting, look, we could get bit on this game, right? Very possible. We're going to come out looking like fools in this game. But you have to be throwing out a lot of the old theories because of the way people are going for it on fourth downs, because of the length at which they can kick a field goal, because of how bad some teams have been playing, and the discrepancy in quarterback play has had a material difference on how these teams are covering the spreads the past couple of years. And so it's just getting harder and harder to cover a big number for some of these teams. Also because teams are going for it more, they're scoring more touchdowns. And that also makes it harder to cover a big number because you're coming back from further down. So,
and just some teams that, like, I'm trying to beat into people's heads here. Some coaches, they get their guys up for these type of road games. Like, coming from west to east used to be an old school fade spot for professional bettors. And with the cryotherapy, the airplanes being so, whatever it is, it's just not that way anymore. And even diving in just hardball, not including him with just the Chargers, him in the NFL his entire career, go from east to west, he's 15-4 as a favorite on the road against the spread in the spot. So it's like he's been doing it for years with different quarterbacks, different teams. He just seems like a guy that, like we talk all the time, coaching matters, getting the guys up, getting their guys ready for an early start. It doesn't affect his team. So, yeah, I am shocked so much professional money is coming in and moving this number down to 8.5. But like you said, we'll take that value.
Well, you just mentioned the other game, Minnesota at Detroit. Detroit is a 9-point favorite at Hard Rock, 8.5 at a lot of other places. I love it. This was Chad's choice. Why are people getting excited about J.J. McCarthy? Why are they trying to find the good in the two games that he played, which weren't very good, and getting excited about the number of 8.5 or 9 for the Vikings? The Lions are a dominant team. They do not have close games. If they have close games, it's games that they lose. When they win so freaking big. And this is a classic spot for them to win so big. And I pointed this out on Tuesday. It's not about the Brian Flores pass rush and pass defense. This Vikings rush defense just hasn't been good all year. They're bottom 10 across the board in multiple advanced analytics stats. Like, this is not a rush defense that is going to hold up against a dominant rush offense, which is really what the Lions like to be. And we've seen that over multiple weeks. So I'm getting the Lions, Jared Goff, Dan Campbell, in a great rush offense against a bad rush defense at home with a quarterback who hasn't played in 6 weeks, who they may or may not have been keeping on the bench because they're kind of worried about how good he might be. What's the debate here? I don't want to hear, oh, well, it's the number. Guy, look at the teams. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, and honestly, though, I think a lot of these pros love JJ. Like, they got me to flip in the summer. It must have been the summer heat, but like, I had zero view on JJ. Didn't really have any kind of read on him. And all summer, these guys hyped him up, said he was going to be the next second coming of Sam Darnold, and he's been anything but, right? And this team this year, this Vikings team, is what I thought they were going to be last year with Sam Darnold. I thought it was going to be a ton of dysfunction, a nameless defense that just can't get after the quarterback. But last year, everything went their way, right? They got all these crazy turnover bounces. And this year, it's not hitting the same. And, a couple trends that maybe pros are betting here with this Vikings team. The only one I could think of was, well, it's a Lions team, a huge win against the Bucks, and then a bye week, right? Usually a team with a big win like that on an extended homestead, so 10, 15 plus days in this exact spot. This is, again, a lot of data. They're 79, 104, so 44% against the spread in this spot. So you could say, well, this isn't a great spot for the Lions. Same counter I have with that Chargers one. It's about the coaching. Like, I can't see Campbell letting the guys have a letdown here And okay, let's dive into the numbers with Campbell, what he's been like with extended rest with this Lions team. They're 15-4 against the spread, covering by almost 7 points per game in this exact spot. So I love it. Like, I love the fact that Campbell gets his guys ready for these type of games, even when they're big favorites in this spot. Because it's been what, Chad, 3 years now that the Lions have been getting the respect from the books, and they're still covering at a 70% clip. They've been big favorites in a lot of these spots, and we've had to just bite the bullet and take it because we know it's a little bit of an inflated line, but to me, it's under it's just like the Chargers, under that key number of 10 and 11. I'm going to take it here. Like the new NFL, I don't think the bookmakers, some of these offenses, they've caught up to it. And could me and Chad get burned in the first half and the Lions go 0-for-3 on fourth downs and we're down 10-7? Sure, but we still have the belief that we can get 28 points in the second half of this Lions team against a Vikings team, like you said, just can't stop the run. So love this matchup for the Lions. Haven't wavered. Hearing a lot of noise from a lot of pros on this Vikings team, but I think we're in agreement. I think they're betting a number here, but this is the wrong game to be playing that type of game.
Yep, agree. Totally agree. We love the Lions here. All right, well, we got two games that we both agree on. Carolina.
Two big favorites.
Two big favorites. Jesus, what has happened?
The way it's going this year.
What has happened to us? Carolina is a 13.5-point underdog on the road at the Green Bay Packers. And our question on Tuesday was, would Bryce Young be starting? He is. I had to dig deep on this one. Here's something that was interesting to me. Carolina allows the fifth fewest plays per game, which equals a top 10 success rate on early downs, meaning the teams they play don't get big gains early in a series. The Packers rank 23rd in plays per game. They're very explosive. So we know they're going to be able to score points, but they do it while not getting a lot of long drives. They don't have a lot of plays over the course of a game. So you could argue with Bryce Young and a run defense that until this past week against the Bills had been trending upward, and the fact that they are very good in early down success rate, they might be able to limit the Packers' scoring opportunities, which makes it harder to cover a 2-touchdown spread. Am I stretching? Am I reaching? Am I just trying to find a way to feel comfortable betting on the Panthers, which I haven't done, by the way? I'm just sort of laying out a theory on a really big number for a team that had been trending upward. And I think that the Packers might be overvalued because of what's happened the past couple of weeks.
You're hilarious. I thought you bet this. I bet the Panthers, but it's not one of my bigger bets. I'm simply, sounds stupid. We are simply playing the number here. The Packers, Jordan Love specifically, 0-4 against the spread as a favorite of 7 points or more. And we've seen it this season, especially, they just play to the level of their competition, right? Like, if you get them against a good team and all eyes are on them and they're in a big spot, it seems like their offense rolls. They put up a ton of points. They keep the foot on the gas. It seems like this year when they're playing against bad teams, they just don't press. They're not trying to blow teams out and roll. So it's a huge number. I'll join you on it, especially the fact that, the Panthers just got blown out, embarrassed their own right. This tends to be a nice spot where a team wants to bounce back. And historically, teams in this spot are 61% against the spread. They're losing by 30 points or more at home, now on the road. So trends like it, but they're just other games I've bet into. But I know exactly where you're coming from. We have to play this one, but it's just tough for me to bet it confidently just because this Panthers team can get rolled here. Like their run defense, if the Green Bay gets things rolling offensively, like we saw with them against Pittsburgh, horrible matchup. Then you factor in the fact that it seems like Parson has kind of figured out that defense, got more comfortable. Not a great matchup for Panthers either. That both their tackles cannot stop Parsons if he wants to get to Bryce. So we really are playing the number here and trusting that the Packers just don't roll bad teams.
Well, we don't have to put it in, but it is
Good,
it is going to be a game where all of a sudden it's not brass balls. It might percolate as we get
I'm saying
closer.
Sunday morning, if you're like, this is one of my 2 or 3 I need in, I'm not going to fight you on it because I'm going to bet it, but I'm like, I hope Chad can avoid this one, please.
It's definitely not. It's definitely not. Like,
Okay.
I already know the games where I'm most heavily invested, and this is not going to be one of those games. I can guarantee you. Today's show is brought to you by our new presenting sponsor, Hard Rock Bet. If you want to bet on sports this week, roll with the Hard Rock Bet app. Week 9 kicks off with Baltimore at Miami. Check out these streaks from Hard Rock Bet Stats Hub. You can find odds to bet on all of these streaks right now in the Hard Rock Bet app. Derrick Henry has scored a touchdown in 12 straight games against AFC East opponents. Devon Achane has reached the end zone in 8 straight home games. If you like that, you can bet it with live odds right there in Hard Rock Bet Stats Hub. If you haven't tried your first bet on Hard Rock Bet, there's still time for you to get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Just place a $5 bet, and if it hits, you get not only your winnings, but also an extra $150 in bonus bets. Plus, tonight on Hard Rock Bet, you can get a Thursday night parlay boost for the games. Boost your same game parlay or SGP max so your bet pays extra winnings. There's new promos every day, so if you're listening to this later, just open the app and check out what you've got any day of the week. Download the Hard Rock Bet app and make your first deposit. Indianapolis,
because we both are so wishy-washy about it. But we know it's the right play.
We know it's 100% the right play. I'm going to watch it on Sunday. We're going to be like, are you freaking kidding me that we did not play this game? Indianapolis at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is a 3-point underdog at home. You like the Colts. I like the Steelers. So we're at a standstill here. The wise guys have come in on the Steelers as well from sharp calls. I think there's some schematic issues. I think there's, on both sides, by the way, I think the Steelers defense has been terrible. I think they are primed to be completely cut up by Daniel Jones in this spot because they play a lot of single high safety, and that's a great way for Daniel Jones to find open receivers, which he's been doing. He's been excellent against single high safety this year. But the Colts also have injuries at both cornerback positions. They are not very good covering tight ends, and the Steelers are running tight end sets, double tight end sets 50% of the time. So last week, we liked Tomlin because he was a 3.5-point dog at home, coming off a bad loss in which his defense did not play well. Historically, that still holds up, right? He's still the greatest coach in NFL history covering as a dog of 3+ points. I don't know how we can't have a conversation about it.
No, we can. Like we talked about, the pros, they're all over Pittsburgh, especially at the +3.5. That's any guy I talk to. It's not Pittsburgh +3. It's the 3.5. They're hopping on that. It's a key number, like you said. Anybody can look. All the trends love Tomlin in this exact spot. Like a blowout loss at home the week before. Now he's a home dog again against a team well above 500. This is usually a smash spot. I agree with you, but a lot of those Tomlin stats are old, and I'm trying to adjust to that because it's a new age. We've been betting that way. We have a winning record this year, even though it's the chalkiest year in history, because we've leaned into it, where it's like certain games, certain matchups. I know exactly what you're saying and talking about. Like Daniel Jones, he's been due for a letdown game. Can Jonathan Taylor get muddied down in a sloppy field outdoors? Like, is there a path for this Pittsburgh team to win and pull off this upset? Of course. Like this Colts team, that's what's so funny. Everyone putting them number 1 in their power ratings. It's like the stupidest exercise in all of NFL.
When we get to the next game, I had a thought, by the way.
But it's just like, what are we doing here? And like, what world would the Colts be favored over the Chiefs at a neutral field, let alone even this Ravens team we have all these questions about? If it's the playoffs and Lamar's going, it's just none of it made sense. Like this Colts team has a ton of holes, like you're saying, and another team where they're on an amazing ATS streak. Like we always say, they tend to have letdown games. No one, like we're talking about, no one goes 15-3 against the spread or 14-2 like to start the year against the spread. It just doesn't happen. So maybe I won't force us to take the Colts here. I'm dug in on this team where I love the way they're playing. The way the offense schemes, like all these teams are giving problems to this Pittsburgh team. They've not faced an offense like this Colts team. This is the best offense by far they've faced. I mean, Green Bay, as good as they made them look, that's not like a juggernaut offense. They had not been rolling they had been inconsistent these last couple of weeks. They got right in that second half against his bad Pittsburgh defense. So I'm trying to get there. I really am with you, Chad, because I think you're in the right here, being on this Pittsburgh side. I can't do it. I'm very public here with because again, no pros are on this Colts team. All the pros are on Pittsburgh, especially the 3.5. So very, very chalky play by me. But I trust the scheme for this Colts team, and I don't trust Rodgers being consistent still. Rodgers, he can put together a good quarter or two for you, but he hasn't put a complete 4-quarter game, in my opinion, yet this season. So, I like where you're at. I get why you're at there. Maybe you can avoid this one for the contest, but yeah, we're split. I'm on Colts -3. You're probably going to be on Pittsburgh +3.5.
Yep. I think that's a completely accurate assessment. A game that we both like, Denver at Houston. Houston is a 1.5-point favorite right now. Simon, this is going to be our Brass Balls Bet of the Week, presented by Hard Rock Bet.
You know what it takes? It takes brass balls.
It's been sitting at -1.5 all week. It's starting to trend towards 2. Remember, everybody, Sunday night, we're doing early leans for week 9. We identified the Texans at +1.5 as a game we were going to be playing. I know we both bet it at +1.5. We even said on Tuesday we still liked it at Texans -1.5. Christian Kirk, receiver for the Texans, likely back. Nico Collins is potentially back. They're waiting on news that he could clear the concussion protocol, but he was limited in practice on Wednesday, so they are hopeful. And against a team that's missing Pat Surtain. So that could be an even bigger advantage as to why we like the Texans than them getting back any players, because the Broncos' pressure depends on being able to bring extra players, at least extra player, because Pat Surtain can handle half of the field by himself. If he's not playing, that changes everything defensively for the Broncos. Sean Payton even admitted, like, that is just a massive change for us that we're going to have to manage. You can't just, do the same scheme that they were doing. He said that in a press conference earlier this week. So we're still on Houston -1.5.
And as good as Denver has been, I think we're both in agreement. We've had major questions this year about Bo Nix and him being the quarterback in this league. After a year of teams having tape on him, you've seen teams have made adjustments. And, even I want to give him credit, because the hardest thing to do is go off script, right? After the script is done and in the second half, teams kind of know what you're going to do and they've adjusted to you. He's actually performed really well, Bo Nix, this year. Like, he's really, like, that second half against the Eagles, really impressive. Obviously, second half, or just I should say fourth quarter against the Giants, something we'd never seen before, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. But I've talked about it a little bit coming into the year. I really like betting Bo as a favorite, like we did last week, and I really like to fade him as a dog. Like, he just, whatever it's been in his career, whenever the line's under 3 or less, he's 5-6 straight up. But as a dog, he's 4-7 against the spread. So, last year, what was he, 8-0, 9-0 as a favorite? You only could really get him when he was a dog. And if you go back and look, it's because when he's playing really good teams, he struggles. And when he faces really good defenses, he seems to struggle. So as much as we have to rely on CJ here, and it's a little worrisome, right? This is going to be the best pass rush the Texans have faced all year, no doubt about it. I think this is going to be a great matchup for this Texas defense. I think they're going to get away with a bunch here. And to me, that secondary of this Denver team, they can be passed on downfield. And you saw last week, when CJ gets going, his downfield throws, they look in rhythm. That's how they can beat you, right? Getting you really spread out. So another game where I was looking for reasons to maybe get off Houston, because it feels like I've been riding them a little bit here and they've been cashing for me, but it's another great matchup for them. And, we can talk maybe about the 49ers game, but basically this Houston team, their defense played like 30 snaps. Like, their offense, I think they played 75 or 76 snaps against that 49ers defense. Historically, really good defense, like defenses like them, they're giving up like less than 20 points per game. When they play a following game where they played less than 40 snaps, it's been really beneficial for that defense, right? It's like a mini bye for them. So I like the spot of this Houston team being semi-rested because they had such an easy matchup the previous weekend. just the fact that Denver feels a little overvalued. People are still feels like they're looking at their records, right? You're still looking at a Houston team that in the public eye is not that good. I mean, it was just 2 weeks ago they had one win and they had, I think it was 4 losses or 5 losses. So I think there's another spot for them to keep cruising and really banking here on this defense, honestly. Just like last week against the 49ers, I think we're both in agreement. We don't really trust Houston's offense, but this defense, between Will Anderson and in the secondary, it's just a really, really great defense Houston has this year.
Yeah, that's what's interesting to me. And you're right, by the way. The Texans last week had 75 plays on offense and only 44 plays on defense. So, a good 25% less than what a team would normally play if most teams get about 60 snaps. So, on defense. I feel like the defense is what's being forgotten in this conversation for the Texans. Everyone is always so focused on CJ Stroud and his struggles and that he hasn't been playing as well and that he's missing throws. And last week was a good game for CJ because they were consistent. They did have a lot of long drives. He was converting for the most part. But people forget how good this defense is, and it's better than the Broncos defense. And I don't know if that's being discussed as much. Like the Houston Texans defense is on pace to set multiple NFL records over the course of a season for how well they're playing. So that's the reason why I like it. They're missing Surtain on defense for the Broncos, and the Texans defense is freaking awesome, and I feel like it's being slept on.
Love it.
You know what you don't love, which I do? Jacksonville Jaguars -2.5, -120 at Hard Rock. So most places it's -3 at the Las Vegas Raiders. You say this is square. You say it's a trap. I say it's obvious. And this is even with Max Crosby expected to play. He did not practice on Wednesday, maybe limited on Friday, back injury. He's the only weapon that would scare me that should scare the Jaguars on offense. Because the real question here is about Geno. Brock Bowers will be back. Can Geno be so much better with Brock Bowers that it will allow the Raiders to be offensively competent? Because I do think both teams are going to have to score a crap load of points in this game.
Yeah, it's, again, a game 2-3 years ago, I would be fighting you on, taking a huge stand. I got no interest in doing that with this game here. Like, I will put my energy elsewhere, but I'm glad the professionals backed me up. Like, clearly, like the money came in.
Oh, yeah, totally.
Raiders 3.5 apparently was a gift. I'm kind of mad I missed it, but it's like, I just was like, okay, maybe this will get up to 5 or 6. Like, let this keep running. And it didn't. They hammered it. Like, this now, -2.5. I could be talked into it, honestly, even though I know for a million reasons this is the wrong bet, the wrong side. You're betting Trevor Lawrence on the road as a favorite, and he's beloved by public money. I mean, just every bookmaker I talk to, all different books, it's all Jags money, never ending amount of it. And what Chad just said, it's for good reason. Like, if there's no Max Crosby, what is the fear? Trevor Lawrence, who's giving him issues that day? The only thing you can hang on is this will be Geno Smith finds it and it's a shootout, right? 34-31. Last team who has the ball wins it. So it's a crazy line. Like, I just can't get over the way the books are pricing it. I took some on the over just in case there is no Max Crosby. The total is 44.5. Like, okay, I'll bite on that. But you could talk me into probably come Sunday. My whole job here is trying to protect people and just give them the insight I hear. And it's like, I knew the pros would be on this. I was trying to protect you and them, even though I hate this. I do not want to have to plant my flag and stand tall on the Raiders and Geno Smith. But every inch of my body, just like you are with Pittsburgh, it feels like it's the wrong thing to do. But when I'm fading Pittsburgh, I'm fading them with the number 1 offense and Daniel Jones and that juggernaut of a Colts offense. I can't feel confident in the same with Trevor Lawrence, who just never ending amount lets us down. And going back, not that you have a horseshoe up your ass, Chad, I cannot believe we covered that Jags Chiefs game. Like, now that we're 3 weeks out, like, this Chiefs team has been absolutely incredible, and it's like
Oh, that was a miracle.
a miracle cover. So that's maybe my biggest issue. I just can't get over this Jags team. Still is not the type of team that deserves the amount of respect they're getting right now. But like we said, this is really you betting about how bad this Raiders team is, how bad Geno's been, and you're getting a good number now, especially at -2.5 at Hard Rock. So again, I'm not going to give you a hard time. I just was at the 3 because it was like, what are we doing here? Are we just going to walk into all these traps? But maybe the lines move so much. We got the best of the number here in the pros. They got the best of the number at 3.5.
Schematically, I like the fact that the Raiders don't know how to cover, that their defensive backfield is just so bad and allowing the highest completion rate for quarterbacks in the NFL. And so it's also, to me, more than Trevor Lawrence, it's a bet on Liam Cohen. I like Liam Cohen. I think he's a good coach. And I think he'll do more over the bye week to scheme up a win and make things good for Trevor Lawrence. Then I have faith in Pete Carroll and what he can do with just a depleted, talentless roster.
And I'll give the one trend. We all know the one trend, what it's going to be. It's basically a team with a win percentage below 40% a game. After the game, they just lost by 30-plus points, 96, 68, and 4 against the spread. So 59% since 2003. This season, those teams in this exact spot, they're 4-1 against the spread. So again, that's a Raiders spot. We know that, but my whole point to agree with Chad is that maybe the lines move so much at this point. It is a good Jags line, but that just I knew there was going to be something of a trend for that because it's just like, man, why do I want to bet this Raiders team? There must be a reason, but I hate it, and I'm glad it's moved so much I can maybe avoid it. I don't know if Chad can avoid it now. He loves his Jags side.
Oh, no, I already bet the Jags at -3.
Oh, God. Well, get the 2.5. You at least got a good number now.
I definitely bet the Jags at -3. Kansas City -2 at Buffalo. This was Simon Says when it was 1.5. It's moved towards 2 at a lot of places. But when it hits 2, it seems like some buyback has happened on the Buffalo Bills. No Isaiah Pacheco in this game for the Chiefs, but no Ed Oliver for the Bills. Like, in the scheme of things, I think that's a much worse situation for the Bills than it is for the Chiefs. I'm going to like backing Mahomes as a short favorite in just about any scenario. I like backing the unit offensively that I think is more complete against a depleted defense. I know that the Chiefs are riding high. I know they've been covering, but I think there's a difference between a Colts riding high and covering and a Chiefs riding high and covering. And I know you're with me on this. I don't think we're buyers on the Bills defense, and that's the biggest problem to me.
Yeah, not a buyer on the Bills defense, and I'm not a buyer on Josh Allen right now. Like, something seems off with him. I talked about it going into the draft process. The number one guy I trust for wide receiver evaluation is Steve Smith. He does not pull punches. And when he breaks down this Buffalo receiving core, like Keon Coleman, he says he shouldn't even be in the league. Like, this guy can't get separation, doesn't run crisp routes, doesn't help Josh Allen when Josh Allen's in scrambling mode, which Shakir, he's been a great receiver for them because he does that for them. So that's allowing 20 points or fewer. So it's happened 28 times in his career. He is 23-5 straight up against those teams, 22-5 ATS against those type of teams. That's what makes him Superman. That's why he's the MVP of the league last year. Josh Allen, when he faces dominant defense, it didn't matter. There's no scheme to stop him. Right now, it just feels like his receivers himself are beating themselves. He just doesn't look comfortable. His throws aren't great. He doesn't make the right reads either. Like, he just locks into guys. And when he's in scramble mode, it doesn't feel like his receivers are helping him out either. So, just going back to the data too, him being a home dog, super rare. Like, when I looked through it, it's only happened about 5 times, and he's won every time. The only one loss was to Mahomes. So we know the deal here. Like you said, the resistance is at 2. A bunch of books did hit 2.5. Ton of money came in on this Bills team. Shocked it held it 2. I thought it would go back down to 1.5. So that's what I keep telling people. It is split. The pros are split down the middle here. And like me, I've taken a large position on this Chiefs team. I really like it. I know some guys out of their way. They've taken really large position on this Bills, especially now they've gotten the 2 2.5. So I love these type of games, right? It's going to be one in the sports books, a lot of yelling, a lot of back and forth. I just think one team in this Chiefs, like Chad said, Pacheco's a big injury. There's no doubt about it. But Pacheco still has not been right since coming back from his injuries the last 2 years. And the flip side, I just think defensively, offensively, it all feels like it's clicking for this Chiefs team.
Yeah.
If they feel like a totally different team than what they were to the start of the season, just because they've gotten so healthy. And this young defense, they're playing in rhythm with Spag's defensive calls. So I love it. It's a true test here for this Chiefs defense. And on the flip side, Mahomes and this offense, they should have no problem against this Bills defense. Like, this is a great matchup for them. So it really is, once again, we all know Cook, top 5 running back. He's a game changer. I think Spag takes him away and puts it all on Josh Allen, because Josh Allen, like I said, he's just struggled this year. He's not been – I know they have him as like a top 3 guy in the MVP voting. That's super fraudulent to me. He's had a very easy schedule. He's just not playing at the level I expect him to play at. So I love this. This is a true test for him. And shockingly, a game they kind of need to keep up with this Patriots team in their division, and a game the Chiefs need to keep up with Denver in their own division. So I love it that both these teams are semi-desperate, and all the history behind this matchup. So I am glad you're in sync with me on this Chiefs team, because this is the type of game where I could see why you'd be on the Bills. So it feels good. At least we're in sync. And what are we up to 3 games now that we like to put in? So there we go. We're making them stack.
We're getting there.
Yeah.
You make a really good point about the playoffs versus the regular season. This is a playoff game.
Yeah.
Right? The Chiefs are 5-3. The Bills are 5-2. The Bills are tied atop the AFC East with the Patriots.
No, they're behind. They're behind a half a game.
They're behind. Right. They're behind half a game. The Chiefs are 5-3. The Broncos are 6-2. So this is a game that over the course of the season is going to have a huge impact on playoff seedings. If the Chiefs continue to play as well as they've been playing, could be after this weekend. If what we expect to happen happens, the Broncos are going to have 3 losses. So the Chiefs need to keep pace. They can't go to 5-4 playing as well as they've been playing. And to me, it actually is about that defense. They've just been so in sync since that Jaguars game. It's almost like they were so embarrassed in that Jaguars game, and the way Trevor Lawrence was able to get into the end zone off of a botched play, I think they've just been a different team. So hopefully that continues to be the case this
Again, I don't even know
weekend.
how I put on the defense. Like, to me, they're 2 of their worst losses here, the Eagles and that Jags game. I think, like, they should. And I think he does himself. Mahomes puts it on himself. Those 2 pick sixes.
Yep.
Again, red zone pick sixes. They're even Mahomes is human enough that he can't bounce back from this type of scenario. So, yeah, it is interesting. Like, they could, like you just said, their record could be totally different if Mahomes didn't throw those 2 pick sixes when he's about to score a touchdown. So, like we said, I feel like the Chiefs team's still a little undervalued here. We're getting a good number on them.
I put in these last 2 games, which happen to be the primetime games, because I think we disagree. Seattle at Washington. Washington was at 3.5. It's down to 3.
You like Commanders?
I mean, yeah, I like the Commanders at
Wow.
3.5. I like at 3, I'm sort of off it, but at 3.5, I liked the Commanders, and that's where the money has taken it.
Yeah.
Arizona at Dallas. I like Dallas at 2.5. I think you like Arizona.
Again, I like Arizona, but it's not I'm not going to fight you on it. If Sunday morning you want to put Dallas in, it's -2.5. I'm there with you. You want to hear some Dak stats? I got Dak stats for days.
If you want to share, fantastic.
Well, I'll do. I just thought this was interesting about just Sam Darnold. Like, I feel like we do give him love and some of his flowers, but I just thought it was interesting that going back even to 2020, before he became the Sam Darnold we know and love now, he's like incredible off bye weeks. Like, it's really wild when you go back and look at his stats. He averages 27.5 points per game after bye weeks. So I just thought that was unique, because it's not just a fluke from like last year with the Vikings. It's all throughout his career, whatever that extended prep is, he does really well. And we know this Commanders defense is atrocious. I mean, they are horrible. Yeah. And that's why, like, I am total understanding of why you're on Washington. You like them because, like, same with Pittsburgh. So all these games we're talking about here, you're playing a number in a situation where this is going to be a heavily public side in the Seahawks. on the road in a primetime game. Historically, it probably would be a good spot for the Commanders, but you got a bum knee in Jane Daniels playing against a ferocious defense in Seattle that travels really well, and you just taking away Terry McLaurin again. Like, I mean, you saw him in that Chiefs game. He was the only one doing anything. Like Debo, he already looks like it's week 17 on those legs. He's just not running like he was in those first 2-3 weeks. So I get what you're doing here. You're playing the number, and it's the professional side. The pros are on this. Like I said, the public. It's another, just like me with the Colts. It's a very public side of me taking the Seahawks here. But once again, I'm backing what I think is a really consistent, good offense in rhythm. And those Sam Darnold stats give me a peace of mind. It doesn't seem like he has letdowns, because this is a letdown spot for Seattle. Like, we talk about trap spots. This is the definition of a trap spot. So those are just some stats I want to give out. So yeah, we're obviously on the opposite sides with that one. Let's go to the Cowboys game, because I do have some great Dak stats. You're probably right here with your early read, and I'm probably missing it. I'm probably overvaluing the fact the Cardinals, all their games are so close. This does seem like the type of game where Dak could open it up and beat up on this team. You know, it's a primetime game, right? But I mean, you talked about it. It really is you're betting on Dak and nothing else when you bet this team. So I'll give some great Dak stats about him just in these night games. He's 29-15-1 in his career in night games, 26-18 ATS in night games. That's 2-0 this season as well. People probably remember he covered against the Eagles week 1. And Packers. This is a guy that, you know, since 2021 in night games, he's 14-7 against the spread. And so, like, Dak shows up in primetime games and plays well. We've seen that consistently. And, you know, when they're playing these night games since 2020 at home, Dak is perfect as a favorite. He's a perfect 13-0, beating his opponents by almost 19 points per game in the spot. So, like, there's a lot of stats to love with Dak playing in these primetime night games. And maybe I am overvaluing this Cardinals team. Like I said, that they play all these close games. They are due to get blown out by somebody. Like, the way they've been in all these games, how much longer can it go on for? They're not that good of a team, like we've talked about. And, you know, it's a number now that's under 3. At 3, I was okay. I could get there with Arizona. I'll take that. But now we're down to the key number of 2.5. Like I said, if you want to talk me into it, after I've seen all those stats about Dak and these exact performances and these exact spots, it's like, all right, I won't fight it. I'll join Chad, I guess, but I don't feel good about it.
Well, look, I think we're agreed on the Chargers -8.5, the Lions -8.5, the Chiefs -2, and Houston -1.5. So, Jesus, how did we end up loving and agreeing on 4 favorites?
Well, we're flipping all the dogs. Like, the dogs you like, I don't, and the dogs I like, you don't.
That's right.
It's just a weird, wonky week that way.
Who else could be the 5th? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think we'll fight about it Sunday morning about getting that one less in there, because like there's always a team, 1 or 2 that pop up over the weekend that I end up loving more than I did today, because I'm around different people and they're giving me different perspective and giving me different numbers to look at. I mean, again, I hate it, but like, it's a pro spot. That Giants spot's a very professional spot. Like I said, that 49ers team played whatever you said it was, 66 snaps on defense. Now they're
75.
Back-to-back road game against a quarterback that scrambles and you have no pass rush.
Right, so but the Giants are so beat up. They have nobody.
They're horrible.
Yeah,
I don't want to bet it. I'm just saying, like, that's what we're talking about, though. That's when you dive in the numbers, and that's just, you're betting the number because it is a spot. It's a professional spot. So we'll see, too. Bears, if there's no Flacco's banged up.
Yep.
It's still
that's interesting to me.
-2.5. I could get there on the Bears. And
I could too.
It's an interesting spot for them as well. So there's some games I think we'll be able to pop on, but like you said, right now we're just, you know, and it happens every week. We've been very good this year, being kind of in sync. Finally, a little bit split on the chalk and the dogs we like, and that's a lot of pros this week. It's that way. It's just the season just throwing you for a loop. It's just not going the way it usually goes with these dogs. So I'm just trying to be careful. That's why I like that we're so chalk heavy. The chalk, it's been hitting for us. Again, last week our only 2 losses, both dogs. So it's just we're trying to adjust, but it's hard, man. It is hard to do after all these years of betting dogs.
All right, so I'll recap sort of where we stand at the end. But Simon's biggest bets.
Right now, Chiefs definitely heavily invested. Houston taking a pretty big position on them as well, and shockingly, Lions and Chargers. Like we're about to do the money line, Robin. I have a heavy amount of money invested in those two money lines together.
Well, look, I'm glad to see it because those are the 4 games that I have pinpointed, other than the Jags, from the beginning. So, I mean, I guess I had the Jags. I did not pinpoint the Chargers until yesterday when it got to 8.5. But
yeah, I'd say those 4 we're giving out. Houston's my least confident one, just because I still have questions about CJ.
Huh. I'm surprised because I actually feel almost more confident about that than I do the Chargers.
I don't know. I love those Harbaugh stats. Got me fired up. Him and being 15-4 on East Coast trips on extended rest is like insane.
All right, let's talk about some of these. The money line favorite parlay. Why not Kansas City, Houston, Lions, Chargers, and one more? Rams, Packers.
Rams, Packers. No, because they're big. Let's get the juice down a little bit. Let's throw in. I mean, you like Jacksonville, Chad.
I love Jacksonville.
Minus 150.
Great. Put it in.
I don't hate that. Or we could throw in Dallas minus 145. I like that. I think I like Dallas more than I like. I hate them both kind of. Actually, I'm thinking about it. Those are 2 good options because again, you're not with me on the Colts, which I think they're minus 170, so the odds aren't as good either.
Let's go with Jacksonville.
Okay.
All right. Moneyline round robin favorites: Kansas City, Houston, Chargers, Detroit, Jacksonville. The dogs: Steelers.
Put your Atlanta Falcons in there.
Yep, Falcons.
I mean,
it's
I
tough.
gotta force them in. It's just because there's not a lot of dogs I like this week. But Josh Allen plus 115.
Commanders.
That would be you. They're plus 140, so that is good value.
Primetime game, Jaden Daniels off a blowout. I know all the things you're saying, but it's also a great spot. Historically, it's just going to be a good spot.
It is, but it's a bum knee quarterback out of rhythm without his number 1 receiver. It's not that great. We're just playing the numbers simply.
Well, sometimes that's what you do.
It is, but that's what I'm trying to bring some logic to because I just can't take all these home dogs. It's just not like it used to be. They're not all going to be hitting like this. But what do we have? 4?
We have 3: Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Buffalo, Giants.
Giants plus 125. I'll do it. And then what do you think about Cincy plus 135?
Yeah, I think that makes
sense. Because I'm not going to bet till Sunday. If Flacco's out, we can switch it out and put in your Commanders.
I mean, you could also do Denver.
Denver, yeah, they are technically plus 110. That's fair.
All right, let's do Denver. All right, so the underdog parlay: Pittsburgh, Atlanta, Buffalo, Giants, Denver. The favorites parlay: Kansas City, Houston, Chargers, Detroit, Jacksonville.
For Survivor, I can't believe I'm doing it, but I got to use them. I'm taking Chargers.
Okay, Chargers.
It's gonna be hilarious if
I've completely
Tennessee knocks
forgotten
down both my
about
Survivor pools this year.
Survivor. I'm so out of it. All right, Sharp versus Square. Simon, who are you going with?
Well, you won last week, didn't you?
We both.
I lost.
I did.
Pittsburgh.
You had Pittsburgh.
You
I had the New York Jets. Let's see. Brass balls. We chose Houston. Chad's choice was Detroit. Simon says was Kansas City. Oh my God. Were you just whispering Chargers to me?
No, I said sharp.
Oh,
By
I thought you were
Jets
trying
bet.
to subliminally get me to choose the Chargers. You know what? Jacksonville Jaguars.
Thank God. Give me the Chargers. I was hoping you wouldn't take the Chargers so I could. Yeah, give me the Chargers. Look at us, couple of squares. Not sharp versus square. It's square versus square this week.
Square versus square. All right. So the games we're pretty locked in on for Sunday. Chargers -8.5. Kansas City -2. The Texans -1.5. And Detroit -8.5. And we'll have a decision to make for the final 5 on Sunday. This has been Sharper Square, part of the Volume Podcast Network. We will be back on Sharper Square YouTube Sunday morning. You're going to get to eavesdrop on an intimate conversation between me and Simon, and we are definitely going to panic and make human decisions, regret the rest of the day. We'll be back on Sharper Square YouTube Sunday night, 7:30 p.m. Eastern, to recap all that misery. Watch or listen on YouTube at Sharper Square. Like this video, subscribe to the channel. Also, download us from Spotify, Apple Pods, wherever you get your pods. Rate, review, subscribe, leave us 5 stars, say whatever you want. Feedback is a gift. Until next time, love you.
Hey.
Let's be careful out there.